Pay attention to the massive blunder this Muslim just made.
Do you believe in like a heavenly tablet?
There's a preserved tablet, yes, which contains the Quran.
Does it contain the Injil and the Torah and everything, or is it all?
Yeah.
So it contains all those. Do we have any access to the preserved heavenly tablet apart from what Allah reveals in books that are sent down to us?
No.
So the books that we have are the old, sort of the only reflection of the heavenly tablet
That we have access to.
Okay. Does Allah will the preservation of his speech?
On earth, no.
So not on earth, but on the heavenly tablet, he wills the preservation.
Yes, it's preserved, yeah.
So the one we don't have access to, he wills the preservation of that, but the ones we do have access to, he doesn't will their preservation.
Exactly.
Well, that's interesting to know. One is technically useless to us, you would say, but the other one that we have, he has not willed the preservation of his earthly books.
Well, that's because we don't believe in the concept that any time that somebody is going to sit down at this table and start writing something with their own hand and claim it's from God, that they're going to be struck with lightning and killed. I mean, this is a ridiculous way to try to understand how God is preserving his word.
So Allah's preserving the Quran would not be sort of part of Allah's nature. So it's not something that like necessarily follows from
It's
it.
not something that he has to do. It's his choice.
Interesting. So he can choose to protect his earthly revelations or not choose to preserve his earthly revelations.
There's nothing within Allah's nature that requires that he preserve any scripture. He willed to preserve Quran. He did not will to preserve the entirety of the original Torah or Injil or other revelations.
So you would say his will is divided. He has willed to preserve the Quran, but not the other scriptures.
Correct.
So why would you believe that he would will the preservation of the Quran and not the other scriptures that the Quran says it's confirming?
Because the Quran is the final revelation for mankind and it's applicable to all of mankind, whereas the previous revelations were not. They were for specific groups of people, and that was part of God's plan. He always had it in that manner. Now, when the final revelation comes along and it's for all of mankind and all time going forward, he chooses to preserve that according to his plan.
And yet in the final revelation he gives as one of the reasons Jews and Christians should believe in that revelation, that it's confirming ours, wouldn't it have been good to preserve our scriptures so that they would actually line up instead of allowing ours to be corrupted so that they don't line up and then the argument doesn't work at all?
God chose not to preserve those scriptures. We believe that he preserved enough of them to be able to point towards the truth of the Quran.
Wouldn't that make Allah's argument circular? Like we have to assume that it's from Allah and then go to our scriptures, take out all the parts that don't line up, and then we say, wow, it's amazing that what's left over once we take out all the parts that the Quran doesn't line up with, it's amazing that it all lines up after we take out all the parts that don't line up.
This proves Islam is false because you cannot tell people to check their own books to verify your own book and your own claims while claiming that your God willed their books to be corrupted.